Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to install the latest version of Kali Linux, currently version 2025.4 on your Mac using VirtualBox. Now the first thing we're going to do is download and install VirtualBox. So head to your browser and then let's search for VirtualBox. Now click on the link that heads to virtualbox.org and then under get started click on download. Now we are going to download VirtualBox based on the system we're using. If you're using an Intel Mac, then download this. But if you're using an Apple Silicon Mac, then download this. Now to confirm if you're using Intel or Apple Silicon Mac, simply click on the Apple logo at the top left corner and then go to about this Mac. Here you can see the chip Apple M2 Pro in my case. So if you're using Intel Mac, you should see it here. If you're using Apple Silicon Mac, you should see it here as well. Now we can close this and download VirtualBox for Apple Silicon Mac. Next, we open a new tab and head to kali.org and then click on the download button right here. Next, we're going to click on installer images and download Kali Linux installer image for Apple Silicon, since we are using Apple Silicon here. If you're using Intel Mac, then you should select the x86 64-bit, but in my case I'm downloading Apple Silicon ARM64, and then we click on the installer and it should start downloading. The file size is around 3.7 gigabytes. I already have this downloaded, so I'm just going to cancel it, but make sure you download it. After downloading, we can close our browser and then open our download folder. So this is VirtualBox and this is Kali Linux installer file. Now let's double click on VirtualBox. And then double click on VirtualBox PKG to install. Continue, install. And it should start installing. After installing, we can click on close, move to trash. Now let's search for VirtualBox in our launchpad and then open it. Here we are going to create a new virtual machine, so click on new, and the virtual machine name, in this case we are going to call it Kali Linux 2026, and for the ISO we are going to leave it empty for now. For the VM folder, we can leave it at this location, but you can change it if you want. Next, we are going to set the OS to Linux, and we are going to set the OS distribution to Debian and the OS version to Debian ARM64. Next, we are going to go to virtual hard disk, and from here we can set how much storage we want to allocate. I'm going to give it around 87 gigabytes. I would recommend you give anything above 20 gigabytes, and we click on finish. Next, click on settings, and then under system you are going to see base memory, which is your RAM. You can increase to whatever you want. I would recommend you stay under 40% of your total RAM. You shouldn't allocate more than 40% to your virtual machine. Same with the processor as well. I'm going to give it around 3 cores. Next, we go to display and make sure the video memory is at 128 megabytes and also enable 3D acceleration. Lastly, we go to storage and click on the empty disk right here. Click on the disk icon by the right and then choose a disk file. Here we're going to locate our download folder and then select our Kali Linux installer file we downloaded. Open, click on OK, and we can begin the installation by clicking on start. So here we are going with graphical install, so come down to graphical install and hit enter. Here we can select the language for the installation, continue. Set your region, set your keyboard layout, continue. Here we're going to leave the host name as it is and continue. Leave the domain name empty as well and continue. For the full name, we're going to enter our full name there and continue. For the username, enter a username which we're going to use to log in later. Likewise, the password. Continue. Select your time zone and continue. Now this is where we partition the disk and install Kali Linux. So we're going to go with guided use entire disk and continue. And this is the disk we allocated earlier, so let's just continue. All files in one partition, continue. Finish partitioning and write changes to disk, continue. Select yes to write changes to disk and continue. And it should begin installing the base system. This will take a few minutes and then we can proceed with installing the desktop environment. And here we can select the desktop environment. Now you can go with XFCE, GNOME or KDE Plasma. I actually prefer XFCE and that's what I'm going to use. You can choose whichever of them you like, but I'm fine with this. So I'm just going to continue and it should start installing. Now this should take about 5 to 10 minutes. It all depends on how much resources you are allocated, so you just have to wait. And the installation is complete. Now we can click on continue to reboot. And you can see we've now booted into Kali Linux. Now log in with your username and password. And that's all basically. Now you can search for display settings and adjust your resolution. So basically this is how to install the latest version of Kali Linux on your Mac using VirtualBox. If this video was helpful, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notification. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.